Your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
The new.
Good morning. It's a beautiful new week. This is the 18th of December. We're getting closer to Christmas, and I'm delighted to welcome you to another edition of the Newspaper Review on High Impact 102.1 FM. I am Olumide Shukoya. Of course, I have Krumale.
Good morning to you, Olumide.
How was your weekend?
It was okay.
It was okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you: have you come across cash over the weekend?
Yes, I was at a few of the ATMs during the weekend, and I think I went to about 4 of them, and it was about 3 of them, and it was the third one I was able to get cash from.
Wow,
and,
you must have been lucky. I was moving from one POS to another. Now, check this: for every 10,000 naira is 300 naira.
Okay, so
and for 5,000 naira is 200 naira.
5,000 is 200 naira.
Yes, 10,000.
I think that was the norm before. 5,000 normally comes with 200.
No, 5,000 comes with 100.
With 100.
Then 10,000
for 200.
200.
Okay.
You know, I went to the first person. She said, I think she said 300 for 10,000. I was like, no. I went to the second person. He said 400. So I now had to even beg him to please take 300 for just 10,000 because I needed to buy some things at the market.
Okay.
It was.
I think last week the Central Bank of Nigeria came out to say they have released cash, and that there is I don't think they said they've released cash, but they insisted that we had enough cash out there to go around. However, looking at some of the reports, an unnamed person in the report from one of the deposit money banks, commercial banks, said the Central Bank of Nigeria have not been able to release cash to the banks.
Are we back?
And I remember speaking to Shenso Okwade concerning the cash, the scarcity of cash in the country, and he talked about, I know he mentioned a few things, and most especially one of the things he mentioned was that we are in the Yuletide period, and lots of people who are traveling seem to be armed with physical cash and not the normal transactions they normally do with their USSD and transfers from their bank apps. And one other reason that he put across was even relating to the petty traders, most especially the market women. Some of them who still have, who are not really educated concerning using the bank transfers and the bank codes, the bank apps and the USSD codes to do transactions, and most of them will prefer cash whenever they are going to buy from the manufacturers, most especially in the interland where they are going to get agricultural produce. They are most times needed to exchange cash for their produce. Those people there don't accept the bank transfers and all of that because they feel they are in the field. But I also think that's even the reason why transfer should be more appropriate. However, we all know that there are some transactions you want to carry out in Nigeria and even in the big cities of Lagos that you have to just resort to cash and nothing else. But some other vendors they have their own personal laws that they don't accept transfers, they want cash. Probably they've fallen victim by way of being deceived, or maybe some persons did a transfer to them and it didn't enter and the person walked away and that was it.
Yes, it's really quite it was quite sad. I had to go from different POS, and I was hearing people complain that cash, even the POS operators are complaining that they can't get cash.
Well, they are part of those who are depleting the cash in the banks.
Well, you could say that also, but at the same time, they are also part of the people who are
Making cash available?
no, benefiting from this whole cash
Scarcity.
yes, because once cash is scarce, they jack up the price.
Because they actually pay to, they don't just go to the banks to withdraw huge amount of money. And don't forget that we still have the CBN rationalizing the cash payment out there.
There's also this claim, it's an allegation, that some of these bankers are in collusion with this POS operator, so they prefer to give them money to make more cash for them.
I can say lots of bankers own POS, points of sales across the states. So it's a racketeering that the CBN and the Ministry of Finance will need to find a lasting solution to it. We know that the government is trying to work on promoting a cashless society, but it's not going to go through, it's not going to be palatable going through this means. I'm not trying to infer that this is intentional. However, there are lots of people there who have lots of cash stored away, physical cash. Maybe Lagosians should tell us what they experience in regards to the cash scarcity. If you have been experiencing cash scarcity where you live, like Olumide telling us his story over the weekend where he went out and he was unable to get cash. He was moving from POS to POS and from ATM to ATM. What's your story? The number to call is 0700 1021 1021. That is 0700 1021 1021. You can send WhatsApp message rather to our WhatsApp line on 0907 224 5018 0907 224 5018. Talking about cash scarcity is just one of the conversation, because we know that one other issue that begs for serious attention is the cost of staple foods. And before we start going into that, let's go on a break briefly. And when we return, we'll start bringing you stories making the rounds on front pages of the newspapers, and we'll be expecting your call to give us your own perspective. To stay with us.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us on the program. Now we move straight to stories making the rounds on front page of the Punch newspaper. The central caption of the Punch newspaper says, Christmas shoppers condemn Naira scarcity, ATMs dry up. We have two riders to that story. Poultry traders, local stores insist on cash. Consumers buy Naira notes from petty traders. Customers lament hardship. Hoarding worsens. CBN expects banks to disburse more cash. Those are the two riders of that story, which says Christmas shoppers condemned Naira scarcity, ATMs dry up. We go to stories above the nameplate. Punch wins NMMA newspaper editor of the year, clinches 9 others, and the pictures of the 9 journalists from Punch vividly captured there on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Beneath that story, we can see other stories. Electricity subsidy gulps 376 billion naira. Consumers pay 783 billion naira. That's on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. Manufacturing Association of Nigeria Airlines, Dangote, in talks over diesel and Jet A1. We can see the picture of the suspect there, captioned there, and the Martian said to be seized. Away from that, I knew long ago Gandhi would become so. That's according to Pastor Adeboye. Beside that, 3 died, 7 injured in Lagos Ibadan Expressway crash. That's on page 4. So sorry about that. United States lawmakers wanted Nigeria on concern list over blasphemy killings. U.S. lawmaker wants Nigeria on concern list over blasphemy killings. That's on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Do remember to know that the number to call again is 0700 1021 1021. Those are the stories making the rounds on front page of the Punch newspaper.
All right, quickly, let's move on to the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. The bold headline says here, Zamfara community under siege as bandits strike. We have 3 riders to that story. We have military vehicles, police outpost burnt. 3 persons killed, 16 abducted. State government to hire 4,200 security guards. Zamfara community under siege as bandits strike. This is something that seems not to go away, but I'm glad that the proposed 2024 budget, the highest sector, one of the highest sector, is goes to
It's the highest security.
Security is the highest. So
That in
I'm
itself
looking
doesn't
forward-
solve the problem. That in itself doesn't solve the problem, because if we are going to talk about the sector of the economy that got the largest allocation, the largest chunk of the budget in past years, now that in 2024 security is going to be on that stead,
Yes.
then we should be talking about a budget performance. If we're talking about 3 trillion naira or more than 3 trillion naira being proposed or allocated to the security sector, at the end of the day, how much will be released?
Well, much of it is how this allocations, how they're being implemented. I believe there should be some sort of accountability. We shouldn't be hearing that they bombed a village by mistake, thinking they were bandits, and we shouldn't be hearing all that anymore. With the whole budget, what do you think?
Sometimes that story is very, very difficult. When you start looking, because even though the military own up to that, there were inferences that the bandits were living among the people.
True. Yes, I get
So,
that.
and the people, for fear of their lives, would not want to go to the authorities to report,
Yes.
because it is more like, bandits most time have been accused that whenever they are confronted by security people, whenever they are confronted by the security officers, they always shield themselves with the lives of the innocent people, and
Yes.
that puts the security. That actually puts the security, the Nigerian military, in the defense.
True.
And in the process, we lost some of our men. That does not justify it when, by mistake or by way of error, we have bombs going into communities to take out lives of innocent Nigerians. We just hope that the new military chiefs will find a better strategy, around that.
All right, quickly, let's move on. Just below the nameplate, a very interesting story and a very interesting question. What does the World Bank want from Nigeria? I've been thinking about that question, because sometimes when they give these advice, you begin to wonder what is actually their plan. Do they want to see Nigeria grow, or are they just looking to milk Nigeria dry? Or what do you think about that?
Maybe I should save that question for Barrister Abdulhamid, who will be joining us.
Though they made an interesting revelation talking about how they were advising the federal government to jack up the petrol price to about 750 and
Yes, I've
stop
heard.
paying subsidy
Subsidy.
secretly.
It's very it's concerned secretly.
Yes.
Oh, so okay, they're accusing the government of paying subsidy secretly.
Yes.
Yeah, we have other people too who are accusing the government.
Even though the petroleum marketer said it should be at 1,000 naira, not even 750,000 naira, but the federal government is stating that no, there's no subsidy payment, this and that. But
let's take the government for its word. Then.
Let's take the government for its word. That's why the question is, what does the World Bank want? All right, quickly. Beside that, experts, unions, differ over federal government's plan to restructure TCN. Let's quickly move on. Afenifere raises alarm over rising kidnapping in the southwest. Afenifere raises alarm over rising kidnapping in the southwest. Beside that, ripples over appointment of 132 liaison officers for Kano local government. Kano local government areas. We have and the last one, NMA gives federal government 45-day ultimatum to review doctors' salary. Even though we have shortages of doctors in the country, it's still appalling that doctors' salaries it's something that the federal government are dabbling with. This is a critical sector, the health sector. We are moving from one doctor to about 5,000 patients. I don't know what the ratio is. I don't know what the math is right now, with doctors leaving, with hospitals closing certain wards because they don't have doctors.
Enough doctors. I think what the government should do at this moment in time, declaring emergency in the health sector, in the education sector, and in security, to put incentives to attract more people into the sector instead of using running out of the country to greener pastures. I think that's what the government should do. There is another headline there that talks about making proposal for the vice chancellors of universities to start earning 1 million naira. I think 1 million naira is even too small, or the professors rather in the universities to start earning 1 million naira. I think it's small. I think you should make it 1.5 million naira for a professor.
Yes.
A doctor in the university should be earning 1 million naira.
Yes.
In fact, those who are new into the who are coming in through their masters, you probably from the start where you start lecturing, you need to just have the masters.
Yes.
Okay. I think those people should be earning nothing less than 750,000 naira. I think so. I think it's even small.
I think
it should be encouraged.
It's possible, but first of all, I would rather encourage that they allow some sort of autonomy for these tertiary institutions to generate
their own revenue.
However,
I think there's some form of autonomy for the tertiary institutions. In fact, last week when we were looking through the papers, the government seemed to be giving, one of the ways it is giving the university autonomy is to hear or listen to their cry by removing them from the IPPIS platform, which they have been agitating for, and the past administration tried to force them in and they refused to budge, and now the Tinubu administration is giving them, it's part of that university autonomy that they are looking for. However, it should not get to the point whereby the Nigerians will start regretting that the government actually granted autonomy. In fact, that word needs another form of conception or definition. Autonomy to the Nigerian universities, because if students are going to suffer, if it's going to resort to paying more school fees, then if it's going to resort to like a 100 or 1,000% increase in school fees, then that autonomy is dangerous for the Nigerian students.
You're right about that.
So it shouldn't resort to that. The government should just make sure they take care of the lecturers.
Well, I think that's all I have right now on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
And from the Daily Trust newspaper, we are moving on to the Guardian newspaper. The main story in the Guardian newspaper talks about federal government and firms trade jobs as illegal expatriate takes over economy. FG firms trade jobs as illegal expatriates take over economy. Moving on to other stories, we can see an infographics there talking about 13,829 foreigners were issued EQ's permit, while 1,161 businesses or business permits were given to foreign companies to operate in Nigeria between 2019 end 2022. The thing is, when we issue out these licenses and these permits to these foreign companies, do we stand our ground to defend the local content law? Talking about those who held managerial positions, Nigerians. The quota of Nigerians that were supposed to head the managerial positions. I know the government could be doing that from the good intention by giving these licenses because it's going to provide jobs for the Nigerian populace and for the Nigerian youths. However, the laws that specifies the local content law, whereby the number of Nigerians that will be occupying managerial and executive positions, are they being upheld? All this, we're hearing stories about foreign prisoners coming to Nigerians to take up jobs. These are issues that the government needs to look into. And I dare say the Ministry of the Interior have a lot of work to do, even though it seems as if all they do, or most of what they do, is manage the prisons or the correctional centers. There are lots to do. The other infographic is that 13,000 expatriates quota, 1,600 work permits issued in 3 years. Expatriates issued Nigerian diplomatic passports, and 150,000 expatriates in Nigeria. That's from the Ministry of Interior. Okay. Move on to other stories. Talking about politics in Rivers State. Pro-Wike lawmakers re-strategize to oust Fubara. Vow to reclaim Rivers. Okay, moving on. Kano residents won't accept injustice, Deputy Governor warns. It's on the news page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Serap Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project. Serap sues INEC for failing to prosecute electoral offenders in Bayelsa, Kogi and Imo State. Is on news page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Profligate governors, political class, pauperizing citizens is an editorial. You want to pick up a copy of the Guardian to take a look at that. NCDC confirms outbreak of dengue fever in Sokoto State. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, confirms outbreak of dengue fever in Sokoto State. It's on news page 20 of the Guardian newspaper, and those are the stories making the rounds on front page of the Guardian newspaper.
All right, don't forget we're streaming live on X and of course on YouTube. That's at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also join the conversation by calling our phone line 0700 1021 1021 or send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. Quickly, let's move on to the last newspaper, which is the Vanguard newspaper. Now, this morning I have some couple of headlines here. I'm just going to read it quickly. Manufacturing sector bleeds that forex loss rises 400% to 466 billion naira. I have another one here, says Kaduna error bombing. Security agencies not on same page. Cool. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso alliance won't weaken ECOWAS resolve. I have another one here. ICPC pushes for joint effort to end corruption in Nigeria. Can corruption really end in Nigeria? Or can
at least it can be brought down to the barest minimum.
Okay, brought down to the barest minimum, or okay. So it can't be eradicated totally. All right, China's cooperation with Nigeria in green and low carbon development promising. That's according to the Lagos Consul General. Works Ministry Director set to defend in-house budget before National Assembly after meeting with Umahi. Kokori's love for Nigeria was unrivaled. We have, let me just quickly take just two more stories here. Anambra Airport records 4,000 flights, 250,000 passengers in 2 years. That's quite applauding. We have this one, $792 million trapped fund. Foreign airlines at break point may exit Nigeria's airspace. This is, last week we had a particular brand, an international brand,
left Nigeria,
and it seems as if more brands
are leaving. I think that particular brand you're talking about that left Nigeria, it's not just leaving Nigeria, it's leaving other African countries too. Yes, and we tend to look at their reason behind that.
Yes, you might want to, because they've been in Nigeria for quite a while.
For quite a long time.
Quite a long time, and at this point where we're going through some economic crisis and they are leaving, you might want to feel that it might have to do with the economic crisis that is happening at this point. Might be one of the reasons why they are trying to leave Africa, basically. Last on the Vanguard newspaper, we have aircraft spare parts difficulty to affect flight operations. I think that's all we have right now on the Vanguard newspaper.
And that's it on the Vanguard newspaper. We're going to break briefly. When we return, we shall be going to the second segment of the newspaper review right here on Impact 102.1 FM. We'll be back in a moment. Just stay with us.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information,
Call 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
follow us on our social media platforms.
At High Impact 1021 FM.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Welcome back to the second edition, the second segment rather, of the newspaper review on High Impact 102.1 FM. Don't forget, we're streaming live on YouTube and on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. Right about now, let's welcome our guest, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Good morning. How was your weekend? And I must ask, how have you been able to access cash over the weekend?
Yeah, good morning and thank you for having me. I am a cashless person, so I don't bother myself much about cash.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't go to the market to buy onion because onion sellers are demanding cash.
But I don't. Recent time I've not been there.
Wow.
And I've not been. It's not even reasons. It's my wife that does that. And
maybe you should get the report from her.
Exactly.
It is also cashless in a way, and most people in Nigeria now can take transfer.
Yes.
So that helps some of the issues sometimes.
All right, sir. Just like you said, most people take transfer, but there are some other people who do not take transfers. For instance, market women, or the little shop by your street. Even there are some transactions you will have to do that.
I agree with you, because if you want to go to commercial buses now, you will not be doing transfer.
Exactly.
That's why I agree with you. I agree with you that there are some transactions that you may not. I'm talking about myself that we hardly need that cash.
Okay, all right. So my question is, what do you think might be the cause at this point that it's making cash to be difficult, almost like gold, to find? If I hear you clearly, so what are the reasons why we're having this difficulty? Yes, what might be the reasons?
For my own that, unfortunately, we are left with a conjecture and the assumptions, because the government who to have given us the reasons why this is happening. I've refused to say anything, and that is unfortunate in Nigeria. In Nigeria, government don't give information; they see it as abnormal to give information, or they see it as not proper. I don't know why. When things are not going well, rather than come out and tell you this is the reason why this is not happening, and this is happening, they will not. They will just be telling you things that are not related. So for me, I think, from my own understanding, from my own conjecture, from my own, I think that is the impact of the last the policy introduced by the Naira change policy by what's it called? Introduced by the former CBN governor.
Godwin
At the time when Yes, when that was introduced, the so many old cash were recovered from the system, and a few few of the new notes were produced. And unfortunately too, when the court said we should continue with the old notes, we have been told that some of the old notes have been destroyed. So probably because of that, lack of adequate notes in circulation, it may be the reason why we're having that now. So, and the government has not done anything in that regard to ensure that we have more notes in circulation. That's my own projection, like I said.
All right, sir. But let's look at it from another angle. Emefiele has left the CBN, and of course another CBN governor has been elected, Cardoso, and shortly before. Can
you become more audible?
All right, I said Godwin Emefiele has left the CBN. He's no more the CBN governor. We have a new CBN governor who took over from him, and so I would think that he would have of course examined the whole situation, just like you said. If there were shortages of currency, they could have made efforts or made provisions to print more currency. So do you think that it's Emefiele's fault that we are suffering as a result of Emefiele's fault, or do you think that the federal government has other things that they are not revealing to Nigerians?
Emefiele, when he was there, was part of the federal government. So as it is today, now it's still federal government, not just Emefiele. But Emefiele was just at the head, because that decision was not taken alone by him. We are only talking about Emefiele because he was the head. You can also remember that the president then said, I approve it. So it's unfair to just say Emefiele. He was the head, he was there. The decision was not his own alone. It was a decision of so many other people. Whether they come open or not, it was a decision. And the president even confirmed it. The then president confirmed that I approved it. So we can't just say it's Emefiele. But again, you see, maybe the new CBN governor maybe is trying to study the ground and know what. It's not easy to print money, you know. So what they say is that even the cost of printing money will more than the
money
you want to
itself.
print. And Nigeria is complaining that we don't have money. So probably they are studying the situation. And again, coupled with the fact that they want that the cashless policy to come to stand. Probably they are looking at all the available position of that. He is a new man in charge. He's trying to look at it. I'm very sure he has not been at that level before. He wasn't part of the system before in terms of federal government. So he doesn't know what is going on there, and he must have to study and then learn on the job for him to know exactly what will be the thing. So probably I believe they are studying the situation. I believe they are trying to work out the solution in that regard. But I will not blame the new city governor for that, because he met those circumstances on ground, and there's no way you want to talk about what we are having today without making reference to the former past administration under the CBN administration, under the Emefiele regime and the President Buhari regime. So I will still give him that option, an opportunity of a little bit time. He just came into office, and then we must give him that time to also look into it and bring that solution to our problem.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister. Now, you talked about Nigeria or federal government wanting us to go cashless, but don't you think that for us to go cashless, there has to be some sort of education, there has to be some sort of sensitization, because we still have market women, we still have traders who believe in just having that raw cash with them, and they prefer transacting with cash and not going cashless, because some of them they are not tech savvy, I would say. So how can the federal government, how can they sensitize and educate these traders on how to go cashless and how to make use of technology?
Kumale, I tell you, I'm not a supporter of that.
That's Olumide.
Olumide, sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a supporter of that policy. So the intent that I am of the opinion that we're not ripe enough to have that policy in place.
Okay.
Because the facility and that is required to do those things are not available. They're not in top. What's it called? They are not in a real. They are not working well for now, and in some situations it's difficult for you to even transfer money or even get this POS done. So for me, I think what we need to do first is to make that thing seamless. The facility on ground to be seamless. When those things are seamless, and we can do more. Copy with all you said, do education to gather these things. Because we still have some people, some places where you go, the network is always bad.
Yes.
Not up to date. Some people don't even have network up to now. So I think we need to collaborate the two together. We need to do it the cashless and the we need to make provision for both and ensure that this is so we can't eradicate that cashless system completely in Nigeria. It will cause a lot of hardship to people. Like I said earlier on, there are some transactions in Nigeria that you cannot do transfer. There are some places you go to that cannot do that in a way. So for now, I'm not a supporter of that policy, and I believe that we can work it out, and the government should make it more seamless. If it's seamless, people will enjoy it and do it. I enjoy the cashless sometimes, but sometimes I run into difficulty when you can't even do transaction or contract. So, but I'm not. I won't say because I am comfortable with the cashless society and system. And other people who are not comfortable should not worry. I am worried too. I'm worried for them. We are Nigerians. So for me, I think the government should review that policy and see how they can implement. I'm not saying they stop with the implementation, but there's not think of completely eradicating the idea of carrying cash around. In any event, the government even are also carrying cash around because it is good cash to people.
Okay, thank you very much. Barrister Abdulhamid, there is a talk about political parties, not just a talk, it's a robust conversation that is rocking the polity in Nigeria. Now, without reference to any state in the country, let's talk about members of the House of Assembly of any state or members of the House of Representatives who have been elected on the platform of one political party, and on their saddle, in their seat, they are defecting to another political party. So in the short time that we have, let's talk about defections from one political party to the other. Maybe in another circumstance where we have a longer period of time, we can discuss it exhaustively on record. Let's talk about defections from one political party to the other. On what grounds is it lawful? Is it legal for Olumide to be elected on the party of XYZ and is running to the party of 123 while he has been elected on on the platform of one political party? He's defecting to another political party. How do we handle defections in the country? Let's just talk about the defections and the law that enables it and the law that does not enable it.
I think defection in Nigeria is only restricted to what's it called? I'm talking about lack of preventing from defecting. It's by our law. It's only restricted to only members of the House of Assembly and the National Assembly members. The executive are not restricted from defecting. If you are a governor, you can defect without anything, without any condition.
Without any condition, even though you won the election on party.
I'm talking about our law.
Okay.
Yeah, by our law. By our laws, they have no restriction. They can defect to any time they like, to any party, any way.
For the governors and the president.
Unlike the National Assembly member and the other Assembly member, the law says for you to defect, you must be able to establish that there is a defection of fraction in your party. That is the only condition under which you can defect. So it's unfortunate, defection is common in Nigeria politics because politics is not about ideology. The political parties don't have there's no, you cannot pinpoint and say PDP this is their ideology, APC this is their ideology, Labour Party this is their ideology, or any other party. What people see the political party as Nigeria is just a platform to get to where they are going to. It's just a cycle to get their position, to get whatever they are looking for. So until we have people who have an ideology to say, look, if I believe in this kind of a system, like APC, they tag themselves a progressive, that are not seeing that progressive in them. They carry on all sorts of people that they even accused of being a corrupt person into their party in the name of a own election. So for me, until we believe in that ideology and we have people who are not using that platform as a means of going to office, if they just want to serve, and then this is where I can serve, then that's when it will be able to get it eradicated or reduced in a way that it is today. The law is even not helping matter. Like I said, the president, the governor, or whatever, they are free to defect at any time, without any reason. But the executive and the National Assembly member and House Assembly member cannot do that. In that, they must be able to establish that there is a division in their party.
Okay. Okay. Now, let me quickly read section 109, subsection 1G of the Nigerian Constitution. It clearly states that a member of the House of Assembly shall vacate his seat in the House if being a person whose election to the House of Assembly was sponsored by a political party, he becomes a member of another political party before the expiration of the period for which he was elected. Now, so the onus lies on those lawmakers who are defecting. To establish a crisis or a division, that prompted their defection from that political party. So in this particular case, how would the court ascertain that this is a crisis in the national party and this is a crisis, this is not a crisis, even though it's everything, any politicking or anything that does not favor factions in the political party? Can it be referred to as a division? Or in your sense, what should this be defined as a division in this sense?
Yeah, the Supreme Court that has been explained by the Supreme Court. They've defined it. They've explained to us what a division means. Division is not just because there is dispute between Mr. President and a member of the APC and the chairman of the APC. That's not a division. Division is not when you say this Mr. Secretary of a party and there's a dispute as to who is the chairman of this party or president of. So in other words, there is just a dispute as to the right person in charge of that office. That's not a division. Division is when you have just like what we had recently, when you have a Papa saying he's the chairman of a Labour Party and he has some other ESCO saying they are the rightful ESCO of the party, and then you have Abure on the other side. Where those, so now that's what they call division. There are two established leadership of the party. And that leadership of that division for it to be qualified must make it impracticable for the party to even function. In other words, you don't even know where to deal with. So it's not about just ordinary crisis. Many people say crisis. No, it's not crisis. We are using the wrong adjective when we say crisis. We talk about division. Division is not crisis. Faction is not crisis. Crisis is not just enough to say there is a division. So if that crisis now led to a situation whereby nobody can even function in that party, then you cannot say that is a division. If there is another crisis, that will not be enough to say the division in the party. There must be an established true leadership of the party at the national level, not even in the state. In other words, if you have a division in a particular state, you now say the party is divided, and therefore the party nationally must be divided. In other words, some people must be saying in the Kano state we have this faction, in the Kwara state these are the faction of this one. Like in the greater administration we have NPDP. You remember? Yes. That one too. We have NPDP, we have PDP. So that we now have a division. So there are two factions of the party in that regard. That's the kind of thing they are talking about. Not just mere disagreement between a member of the party and or just a mere dispute as to who is the right of part of the particular office. Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. Recently, I've explained that to us clearly in the case of what's it called in Ondo State. Then I can't remember the name of the. It escaped my memory now. Okay. At the good day, the Ondo State Assembly. Okay. Now, I remember vividly this year, Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, the only senator of the YPP, Young People's Party, defected to the APC, and in 2020, there was no legal, there was no litigation, there was no court case, someone taking him to court or the party taking him to court over his defection and their worry to reclaim their mandate. In 2022, a federal high court in Abuja sacked 16 Ebonyi House of Assembly members for defection. The court held that the movement breached section 109 subsection 1G, which I just read. So it seems as if the onus with the myriad and the number of defections that we have in the country, it is defeating democracy, and it is the place of the court to set the record straight to make sure that we still have democracy secured in the country. Do you think the court is playing that role effectively? The court has played its role, and that's why I was able to give you the position of the law regarding the interpretation of the court in the Supreme Court decision. You see, the way things that look is not the court that on its own. Just say there's an issue that's going on in the country. Let's make a decision on it. No, somebody must go to court. If Mr. Uba,
yeah,
senator decide to come from whatever, and nobody is challenging it, so be it. Somebody must go to court to challenge it. That's when the court will intervene. If there's nobody challenging it in court, the court will not on its own wake up and say, this man, there's a law, and this man has defected. I am removing. No, court will not do that. Okay. Somebody must go to court to challenge it and say the person of this man contravene particular section of the law, and therefore should to be vacated. As it is in its own case, I'm not aware anybody has gone to court.
Yes.
I'm not aware anybody is challenging it. So
yes.
That is not the fault of the court. The people are satisfied with it, no complaint. So there must be a complaint for court to intervene. Court will not just sit down and say because we are having a issue regarding the section 122, section 299, then this and that. Let's interpret it for you. No, court will not do that. Somebody must go to court to initiate that process. If there is no initiation of that process, court is not aware of it. All right. So the court must be aware. And like I said, in the Supreme Court has laid that to rest. They have given us what a division is in the party. So, but we have politicians who want to just use their own abracadabra. As it is now today, there's another from the let me use if I take a case as a scenario.
Okay.
Where how our politicians make a court a joke, and the court also allows themselves to be used in that regard. There's another already from the High Court in the River State. I'm not aware now that those 27 or 25 members of the House of Assembly have gone to obtain another order in Abuja Federal High Court to restrain the INEC from conducting or declaring their vacant or conducting a new election. That is not proper because we know their decision has been taken already. If they want to challenge that decision of the court that said they have been vacated, they should have gone to that court and find their own paper too. Not to go and file another case in court. And I was thinking that
in another court,
the court will draw that and say, look, I'm aware, especially when it was one party. No, the other parties are not there. So the court that is there must be satisfied that what they are asking for is in line with the law. And the thing here is that I will ask them questions that, look, I know there's a decision, there's a decision of court in so because the court is going to take the decision of cases, decision of court in cases. So I was thinking he would draw the attention to it. They said, why not go back to your state and then go and find that counter that ask for vacation of that order and come and file on our head. Unfortunately, it was granted, and then we now have two decisions now. One will be claimed to this, the other will be claimed to this. The confusion, sincerely.
And this is the court. This is one of the rules that we expect the courts to make sure that all decisions and precedents align with the law. If not, democracy will be defeated in the country.
We have democracy. Do we have democracy in Nigeria?
I think that's what we practice. I think that's what we practice, which calls for regular elections.
That's not what you practice. That's what you on paper. That's what is on paper. What we practice is civilian rule, not democracy, as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
What is on paper is democracy. Then what we practice is a civilian rule.
All right.
So we may be saying we are having a democracy, but we are not practicing it. We are practicing something else.
All right, Barrister. Quickly, just one last question. With all that is going on in the River State Assembly, how do you see this play out? What role can the party? Because this also has to do with the party, the People's Democratic Party. I said, with what is going on in River State Assembly now.
Hello.
Can you hear me, sir?
Can you hear me?
The line is breaking.
Oh, okay. I think that's.
It has to do with the network.
Exactly.
Can you hear us, sir? All right. I actually wanted to ask him with what is going on in River State Assembly. How can the People's Democratic Party wade in? Because Fubara and Wike, I believe Wike is always bragging that he's still a party carrying member or carrying member
of the PDP.
Of the PDP. So the PDP should be able to do something. I don't know if the chairman,
the state chairman of the PDP in River State, and
the national chairman, I don't know if he's still the person.
I don't think the right now it is. I will call it's a political crisis between the PDP. It has resorted a political crisis between the PDP and the APC. right now the PDP cannot do any damage control anymore.
Okay, Barrister, are you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, sir. I said with all that is going on with in River State Assembly, what can the party, that's People's Democratic Party, what can they do? Even though Kumala is now saying that it has gone from PDP to PDP versus APC, but what can the political parties, what can they do? The party faithfuls, the loyalists, what can they do to wade in? Because both of them, that's Fubara and of course Wike, are both from PDP.
For me, I think it's unfair to even call the PDP leadership into any action in this situation. I mean, I'm even ashamed of those people who call themselves the House of Member in River State, accusing PDP of not coming to their aid. These are the people that, for me, they are just PDP by name. They are not PDP in parties, and that's why you never suspect the election.
Yes.
They proudly and boldly said that they voted against the PDP. They voted for APC. Now that they are in crisis, they want the same PDP to come and rescue them. The party they voted against. So for me, if the governor, the House of Assembly member, what goes around is coming around to them. As far as I'm concerned, the PDP is not the intervention of PDP. If they are not intervening, I won't blame them. It will be unfair to say they are not, because who they want to talk to now? Those who work against them, those who claim they are not supporters, they are not indirectly, they did not leave PDP, but they are not working for PDP. They are working for APC. So it's difficult. Who intervene? Is it Atiku? Is it the chairman of PDP that they don't recognize? Is it who do you expect to come and intervene in this? I'm not saying they will not intervene. No, but as this now, this is the time the government will now know that there's a leadership in PDP that will not be aligned with them. Then when they were contesting elections, they work against. They even said it proudly that they work against the party, and we're including Minister Wike. So for me, it would be unfair to accuse them if they even refuse to say anything. As far as I'm concerned, they have not done anything. But I know they are not saying they're not going to intervene. They are intervening and they will be intervening. But if they don't do, for me, it would be unfair to even accuse them of any wrong.
All right.
This is where we would end the discussion today. Well, thank you very much, Barrister Abdulhamid. Thank you very much for joining the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
You're very much welcome.
Yes, quite a robust talk.
Yes, it is. For me, like I said, the crisis that has metamorphosed from just a thing that has to do with the PDP to between APC and PDP right now.
And it all started
because right now the APC will be like, excuse me, the national legal advisor of the APC has handed brooms to these 27 lawmakers who defected from the PDP to there. And though Mr. Edison Ehie, who is the Speaker of the House of Assembly in River State, is declaring their seats vacant,
yes,
because he is working with Section 109. Because the case is in court, I don't want to go, put it on that. But I did from the analysis, from the objective analysis that Barrister Abdulhamid gave about defections, I think. It's in court. Let's see what the courts will do. But the court themselves, what he talked about.
Yes.
Our time is fast spent, so we got to go.
But this is where we'll round up today's edition of the Newspaper Review on High Impact 102.1 FM. I am Olumide Shokoya. Enjoy the rest of your day.
It's Oyinpriye Kromale. Good morning to you.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines.